Okay, I have never played Slay the Princess before. I know absolutely nothing about it. I think it's a visual novel based on the store page when I went to buy it. But other than that, I'm completely blind, so let's check it out. I'm not sure if the audio balance is great, and I'll have to full screen this here. This is a horror game and not for all audiences. Okay. Heads up for anyone watching. Have heart and seem there are no premature endings, there are no wrong decisions, there are only fresh perspectives and new beginnings. This is a love story. Ah. Relax, boil, auto advance text. Oh, okay. I've only played a little bit of Scarlet Hollow, but I really enjoyed that game. Seems maybe a touch quiet. Try turning it up a bit. Let me know if it ends up being too loud.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Is the audio balance okay now?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
So I just say it's a provocative title. Killing a princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman,
I already like this game a lot.
miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress.
Hell yeah.
Seamstresses contribute something of value.
All right, let's go kill the hell out of this princess. Oh, okay.
Don't mention it. It's all part of the job. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Nope, you've convinced me.
Ignore him. He doesn't
I'm already
know what he's
completely
talking
convinced by the narrator, so...
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust.
This is all hand-drawn.
The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're doing like a Stanley Parable thing where it's like, am I obeying the narrator, right, or disobeying, or are we doing like a post Stanley Parable? Where it's like, no, you actually should obey the narrator this time. Don't just be disobedient for its own sake.
Illuminated by an unseen light in the room below.
Oh, thanks.
This is an oppressive place.
Oh, it froze.
The air feels heavy and damp. A hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Think I'm here to kill you?
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Sounds like it.
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
Yeah, it wasn't a joke.
I know. You brought a knife with you and everything. But you don't have to try and kill me. You could always toss that scrap of metal to the ground and give the two of us a chance to talk things out.
She makes a compelling point. What if we didn't kill her? What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us. You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon
She's
you have,
clever.
you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
So if it has an explore prompt, does that mean it's not costing me any time and it's not a choice, essentially? I can do those for free? Oh, no, I guess not. I'm sorry. Can we just talk? Slay the princess.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Play the credits.
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago. That arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
Of course it is. She's dead.
Yes, exactly. It's over.
I get the sense this game is maybe
With your
about the
work
way
done,
perception
you make
creates
your way
reality.
back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience.
I love, like, the current era of video
But that
games that
day
we
isn't
live in where
today.
it's like,
Let's just get out of here.
am I supposed to be disobeying? Am I supposed to be obeying? Am I supposed to know that it expects me to disobey and now obeying is disobeying, right?
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain
Nice to see the
doom.
video games as a medium mature so much.
Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what
There's
you
no
find
game now, right?
is nothing at all.
The whole game was supposed to be
Where a
not
lush
killing her.
forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
What happened?
Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy.
I was kind of hoping I'd get a better ending for saving the world. Oh, okay.
I'm so glad you're keeping an open mind. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
Didn't you hear the narrator? I'm happy. We're happy. Of course we are. I like it here.
Really? Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know, I guess. More happy time passes, though the word begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning. Please, shake yourself out of it. We have to get out of here.
I'm already really
The
liking
little
this
voices,
game.
please, fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass cease
I could
to
tell
have
the
any
game was
meaning
giving
to
me,
you
it gave me
long
like
before that shift.
15 off ramps in a
You
row
simply
there.
exist. Happy. Forever.
Hey, good ending. You did it. You saved everyone. I assume you don't want me to just do one playthrough of this. Really good. I'm glad I pushed through, right? Like, nope, I can tell that's an off-ramp. Oh, just having everybody clap for you, it's great. Renewed cheering. Okay, I don't think I can get through this much faster. Special playlist. Princess World Under Eternal Bliss. Yay, you did it. I wonder if that matters in some way, so I'll go ahead and screenshot it. Join the Discord. Join the subreddit. Make your playlist. Play our other game, Scarlet Hollow. Okay.
You're on a you're here.
Yeah, sweet. I've always wanted to off a monarch. Viva la
That's
revolution!
the spirit. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. She will lie.
Yeah, I
We're not
heard
gonna
this
ignore-
already. I'll make a different decision, I promise.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The blade.
Let's try to do as different as possible now.
The door to the basement, her voice
Hello?
is. Don't let.
I'm here to save you.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here
Like
forever.
how she immediately, like, shows her true colors or
I
whatever
see.
if you
You're
push
trying
her.
to get her to lower her guard. It's a gamble, but it might work.
Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone?
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
You were lying when you said you were here to rescue her, but regardless of your intentions, breaking her out of those chains would be a big mistake. Don't even try it.
Okay, now let's try
Only making this more
obeying
difficult.
her.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Any other ideas?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance.
Like Saw.
If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
So does this game have a bunch of like distinct runs from each other, and the average run is like 3 to 4 hours, or does it? This may be a spoiler, but I just need to know for like my own sanity. Does it know that I already played it once? I guess is the way the lowest spoiler way I can ask.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
It doesn't know I already played it once. Okay.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm
Damn.
to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. She's kind of like chewing her arm off. Let's do the opposite.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut
It's her like
into her
comically
flesh.
huge eyes.
The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground.
Surprised I didn't
The
just have it so
heavy
she
chains
bites her arm off
follow
if you
suit.
didn't bring the knife.
She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't
I
just let her
can't.
escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
Got my arms all
Wait,
fucked up.
this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
That's good.
Stop that.
over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this,
I
right?
think this is like almost a deconstruction of this
Body
kind of
lunges
game.
forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart.
Even having the
Princess
dagger
dodges,
like magically fall
stumbling
down the
back against
stairs.
the wall before the blade has a chance to connect.
Like my long
Stop trying
fingernails.
to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Resist.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she?
Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like
No, it
this.
does.
Right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2, okay. So I imagine I had a couple off ramps
You're
to
on
maybe
a
see
path
other.
in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin
No, I died.
is a princess.
You're just living here forever.
You're
Time doesn't
here
have
to
meaning
slay
anymore.
her.
Isn't that boring? No, I'm cool with it.
If you don't,
All right, good ending. Good
it
job.
will be the end of the world.
Getting a terrible sense of deja vu. Oh, okay. So that didn't count as an ending, I guess. Only the first one got me credits. Turn around and leave.
Are we running away? What are you doing? We have to save her. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
I'm actually pretty okay with the world ending. I relish the coming of a new dawn beyond our own.
There won't be a new dawn if the world ends. There'll just be nothing forever. Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
This
That's
feels like a
It looks like this
evolution
path
of the Stanley Parable to me.
also
Kind of a
leads
similar
to the cabin.
theme.
How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up back at the cabin again. But everything is getting fuzzy. What's going on? Where are we? Oh, I don't like this one bit. There's not a single damsel in sight. How dull.
I guess like the first playthrough is just you and the narrator. Physical matter is replaced by a textured nothingness. It's quiet. Something other comes close. Need something shaped like me. Embrace the thoughts constricting you. Turn to your destined path or face the consequences.
You're on a path in the woods.
The real
And at
Slay the
end of
Princess
that
starts
path
here. You'll know it when
is
you
a
see it.
cabin. And in the basement of that cabin, you're here to slay.
There's like a button I can press to auto skip stuff I've already seen, I think. Okay. What are you talking about? Wait, I think I accidentally turned off voice acting. I didn't mean to do that.
Good. As long as
Okay,
you
that's
remain
fine.
focused on your goal, it should all be smooth sailing. You make your way. You take the blade from the
Haven't heard of it before. I'm here to kill you?
Oh, are you now? Why don't you
Yeah, it
come
wasn't
down?
a joke.
You ignore the...
I want to kind of see what happens if I bail out
Yes.
right before in the void. Endings are now a thing of the past. This is the beginning of eternity. Your
This
work.
is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. Psst. Hey,
Hell no. How do we get out of
I
here?
do. But you're probably not going to like it. The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this. I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
Wouldn't using the blade, kill us?
How astute. You are absolutely correct. Using the blade to kill yourself.
So is it true
would
that things
kill
that are
you,
marked
and
explore
you
are just
shouldn't
information
do
and
it.
don't advance anything?
In a sense,
Or not a
we
choice,
die,
basically?
but looking at things from another angle, are we even really alive anymore? This place, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing.
the end of
It's
the
just
story.
The same thing, constantly, forever. I know this is out there, but trust me, I know using the blade will work. That little voice didn't want you to slay the princess. It didn't want you to be happy.
Anything to get out of the cell.
Thank you. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs. The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you. You're on a path in the woods. You're here to
And why is your tricks?
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. That's fine. It wasn't very hard to kill her last time.
Okay, so
We'll just do it again.
the other voice
Well,
is
if
the
for whatever
voice
reason
from the
you're going
previous
to insist that
playthrough,
this has
because it was up
happened
to
before,
Smitten
at
last
least your
time.
heart's in the right place.
That's interesting. I wonder how much I screwed myself over of the full experience by like going for what I'm sure it's a joke calling it the good ending first. Should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. Oh, we listened to you plenty. We slew the princess just like you asked us to, and then you locked us away in an empty void for eternity. So we slew ourselves too. Well, if you killed yourself, then you weren't listening to me, because I would never want you to do that. Believe it or not, I care about you. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences.
Hey, Alec.
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We slew the princess, the world outside the cabin disappeared, we died, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left?
So we were on the only timeline that didn't involve jumping worlds.
And if she's really back, which I doubt, it'll be just as easy to do it again. But after that nasty trick you pulled on us, maybe she's not the only one around.
Hey, Frosty Feet, how you doing?
Slaying. Just stay focused, will you? Just be quick about it.
Stabbed her and she died. How can someone like that end the world?
She just can. You'll have to trust that what I'm saying is true.
Who locked her in the basement?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things. That's a good point. How do we know we didn't have things backwards? Maybe slaying the princess was what ended the world, not the other way round. Yes, maybe this whole thing was a trick to get us to end the world. And now we get to go through the whole charade again, wholly aware of what's waiting for us at the end. But that's assuming she's alive in that cabin. We did kill her, after all. You're going to find her in the cabin. If the princess had actually been slain, you wouldn't be here. And let me assure you, killing her will not end the world. I don't know what you think happened to you last time, but it's a load of nonsense. You'll get your happy ending. I promise. Well, that's exactly what we're afraid of. Really? Living happily ever after sounds that bad to you? Oh well, there's no use arguing over your masochism. The cabin awaits.
What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. This is boring. He's clearly not interested in talking, so let's just do as he says, and maybe he'll stop.
You like
bothering
that
us.
he is capitalized?
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her...
She won't be a problem.
The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odor of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling out. The blade is your implement.
It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already.
Cabin's different than last time. You didn't see anything about the mirror on the wall. Okay, that's why it was different.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
Who cares if there's a mirror? Let's just go into the basement and find her body so we can be done with this.
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
Like how it's not
This really isn't funny.
flickering like the rest of the art.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago.
And now it's gone. Let's not spend much longer worrying over it. Clearly it's not even important enough to be acknowledged.
Am I the dragon, basically?
Very different. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous second life proposition. You haven't died. You certainly haven't already slain the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this. You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. The room below is silent. Nobody's here. Naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see.
Hey, sir. How's it going?
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain. Okay, she's definitely dead.
It's just like I told you.
Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous, skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost!
No, just the regular kind.
Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Oh, It's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
The
Here,
princess
what's
drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you. Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers.
Oh, thanks very much,
dancing
Baker.
across your
Appreciate it.
skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. That means we could kill her again, if we wanted to.
Play the princess.
Without a moment's hesitation, you lash out with your blade. It's like you're slashing at air. No matter how many times you stab at her, no matter how many angles you strike from, all you manage to do is interrupt her form, the skin of your hand prickling with cold as it passes through, unable to find anything solid.
You're adorable when you're confused.
But I didn't say you could touch me.
Why are you even here? Just making sure you finish the job?
Well, I already got the
or
good ending.
what?
I actually don't know what my end of how long to beat condition is if I opened by getting that ending. I knew I had to talk to you again. I wouldn't have slain you. Slay the princess are harder.
You swing at the princess once more, and once more your blade cuts through nothing as she disappears.
Really?
Her voice chides from elsewhere in the room. You whirl around, finding her hovering between you and the basement stairs, looking you over with grim disappointment. She draws in close.
I was willing to let bygones be bygones, Keller. I was willing to ignore everything you did to me so we could get out of here, together. All I ever wanted was to leave this place. All I ever wanted was to find a way back home. Wherever home is.
Her eyes turn from wells of sorrow to pits of wrath as she stares into you.
I guess violence is the only language you speak.
She forces her hand into your chest, and then... Yes? Nothing happens. Are you sure about that? Something should have happened. And yet it didn't. We're fine.
Did you miss? Not afraid of you.
You can't be sure if you first hear or feel what happens next, but it is over before you can fully conceptualize what it is. A horrific splintering, the squelching of organs, the rending of tissue, an icy, numbing pain.
I'm done asking. The next time I see you, I'm taking everything I owed. Starting with your body. If you won't choose to give me my freedom, I'll just have to make you give it to me.
She's real now. If she's making us dead, we should return the favor.
Slay the princess.
You swing your blade towards her briefly corporeal throat. It connects. A gash widens across her neck, glowing ectoplasm leaking from the wound. But it's too little, too late. In her hand, you realize she clutches your still beating heart. It thumps unsettlingly. Did we get her? Even if we didn't, we've given her something to remember.
See you soon, killer.
I'm afraid you'll never know. As she crushes your precious organ in her hand, everything goes dark, and you die.
It's good.
You're on a path in the wood, and here we go again. Off to slay her. Again. The deck's stacked, isn't it? We kill her, we
Is it
start again. She
Smitten,
kills us as a
cheated?
goddamn ghost. We start again. I'm starting to think we're being run in circles.
All you gotta
just for
do
the
is
sake
just
of
kill
it.
her the first time.
Come on.
It's easy.
Let's not give in to all that
Easy
misery
game.
just yet. There's got to be a way out of this. There's got to be a right answer. Ah, and what if there isn't? Aren't you listening to me? What if all of this was rigged from the start? That's ridiculous. There'd be no point in all this if it was just some kind of cosmic busy work. I think that's exactly what it is. The powers that be seeing how many ways they can screw with us. Could be it's all some kind of sick joke to them.
That's why I'm over here laughing.
Okay, so you've already been here.
I like that this isn't just the Stanley Parable again. It's very similar subject matter, but I think Stanley Parable is more about linearity in games and
screwing with you, and I can't imagine
player agency. And this is kind of like a more nihilistic story about storytelling in the first place.
Well, we didn't have to start over. We killed ourselves. And why, pray tell, did you do that? Because you decided to foist an infinite tedium on us. That doesn't
The
sound
original
like me.
release of this game
If
have
I'd
voice
had
acting. I
everything
saw
my
it has
way, you
a.
would have effortlessly
You got it as
slain
the
princess,
pristine
saved
cut.
the world, and been given your happy ending. The ending was the tedium.
We've had a good chunk of
You locked us
visual
in a
novel
cabin and
satire.
Sent that cabin to an endless void, and then you told us we were happy. Well, were you happy? Of course we weren't happy. That's why we killed ourselves. It was awful.
I see.
Yes. And then she killed us. Even though she was already dead. This is all fake. Okay, let's try to get back on track. You're real. The princess is real. The world is real. The people in the world are real. And the danger she poses to all of them is also, quite unfortunately, real. Whatever you did the first time, it sounds like it almost worked. So how about you give it one last try? Because killing yourself seemed to undo all the good you almost managed to accomplish. All this standing around and talking is boring. Let's at least do something. Maybe we'll kill her again. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll even free her.
You the same narrator we met in the other loops?
If I had to make a wager, I'd say yes and no. That's a hedge, not a wager. I haven't met you, but you've clearly met me. It sounds to me like you're hopping between parallel realities, in which case the me you just met here is the same collection of experiences as the me you met at all of those other beginnings, but their continuity breaks the moment you say or do anything, in effect making them all separate.
Fair.
So, yes, I'm the same me, but ever since the moment we started talking, I'm different. I'm not sure how we're supposed to kill him ourselves, but he's asking for it. Maybe there's some way she can take care of him for us. They've clearly all been through some harrowing experiences. Don't let their baggage influence your decisions.
All right, try to kill the
You have
narrator.
the ability to see things clearly. I suggest you use it.
We already tried turning around and leaving, and that seemed to reset.
Then she finds a way out on her own. Ugh, of course she does. So, standing around out here is the same as us letting her out. Only we don't have to see her. That's gotta be better, right? No, it's strictly worse. But she can't kill us out here. Why would staying out of killing distance be worse if she's getting out regardless? Because it's cowardly, for starters, and because the unknown is always worse than the known. But really, all you're doing right now is weighing two considerably bad options. The only solution worth considering is slaying her, and whatever delusion is holding you back from doing that is just that, a delusion. If you already managed to end her in some other world,
yeah, that's true.
The only reason you'd be here is that you somehow managed to do it wrong. More rules, more rhetoric.
Since when is there a wrong way
I feel like it has to be relatively common to get that the quote-unquote good ending the first time, because a lot of people playing games like this are people who are familiar with this sort of metafiction, right? And are so suspicious of the double reverse psychology at the beginning.
You're making a dizzying amount of assumptions. Your perceived reality looping twice before does not mean it will continue to do so forever.
Good point. I know it doesn't loop sometimes.
Those little voices have already drawn attention to the fact that even the path is different. The world itself is at a tipping point. Know that there is always a choice. Even if you were stuck in an infinite loop, there's no reason to assume that the mere nature of the infinite would force you to make any specific choice. You do have free will, as much as things would be easier if you didn't. And you can just keep making the correct choice forever, never deviating. How convenient, everything always comes back to what you want us to do. I'm sick of him. Makes me want to end the world out of spite. On second thought, let's not kill him. Let's throw him someplace that never ends. I'd like to see what that does to him.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe this game already does this. I think the next step of this kind of like postmodernist metafiction would be anticipating that the player might not be immersed in your story and might be interacting with your story like I am, right? And trying to like design prompts in a way that baits that out and calls the player out for doing that.
You continue down the path towards the cabin. It isn't long before you're steps away from your destination. I don't think you need any words of warning. I think you know what's in there, and despite your protestations, I think you know what you need to do.
Yeah, metagaming traps, exactly.
The more he talks, the more I'm interested in setting her free. Whatever.
But I feel like this kind of art invites you to metagame, right? It invites you to say, okay, what's the most interesting choice here? What are they clearly not? What are they trying to off ramp me from? Is how I ended up on the good ending in my first path through. Trying to use reverse psychology at me, or have you just given up?
There's obviously no point in trying to reason with you right now, especially with all these clowns offering up their useless advice. Honestly, it seems like the more I try and talk sense into you, the more single-minded they get about letting her out. So yes, I'm done trying to argue. Would you look at that? We won. Take it however you will. The interior of the cabin is long and dark, a single narrow hallway stretching far into the distance. Curtains billow out from tall windows on either side, obscuring the path forward, fluttering helplessly as opposing gusts of wind rush into the building, clashing and joining and driving everything forward. The only furniture of note is... that's strange. What's strange? Is it the mirror? The mirror? No, there isn't a mirror. What's strange is there isn't much of anything in here at all, aside from the curtains. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? Great. Something else has been taken away from us. I suppose the only way to go is forward. So forward we will go. Blade or not, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Approach the mirror.
If you're asking what's at the end of the hallway, it's the way to the basement. The way to the basement? Don't you mean door? No, I didn't say door, because there isn't a door, it's just an opening. What are the odds she's waiting for us right behind it? If I were running a bullshit factory, it's what I'd do. Let me assure you that there's nothing there. Nothing is going to jump out at you. Certainly not the princess. The princess is in the basement. He can't see the mirror. The knife is gone, defying his expectations. Who the hell is calling the shots?
Voice of the Cheated's pretty funny.
Nobody is calling the shots. That's how reality works. You slowly make your way towards the gaping maw that awaits you. Your fraying nerves buzz with trepidation, the chill wind raising your hackles as it gently pushes you forward towards the darkness at the end of the hallway. You can't shake the feeling that you're being watched. We've always been watched. You're watching us right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes the feeling is just stronger than others. I feel like you're trying to put us on edge. We don't need all this anticipation. We just need this to be over. You stop as you reach the end of the hallway, I presume in front of whatever mirror isn't actually there. Here we go. You reach your arm forward into the pitch black of the opening. Nothing. It's like this place read our mind just to mess with us.
What you looking at, killer? Staring into the void? Thinking about what it'd be like to die again? I know exactly how you feel.
Shit, where is she? You feel something long and frigid coil around your ankle. Your heart skips a beat, standing in muted shock for one long, frozen moment. And then she, the princess, constricts. Your bones snap.
Damn.
Icy pain radiates up from the break, a deep cold flooding your veins as your legs, numb with the shock of it, collapse, and you collapse with them. You're met with the terrifying visage of the princess. Her hand grips your leg in a steel vice.
Yeah, you are
her
like a
grin
dragon guy,
carved,
which makes
jagged from ear
makes
to
sense
ear,
if you're
crowded with
tasked with
far
slaying
too
rather than
many
saving the
long,
princess.
crooked teeth.
But do you know how I feel?
You also have like feathers, it looks like.
I gave you a path to forgiveness. I gave you a chance to make things right. I thought maybe you'd seen what you've done and feel remorseful. Maybe try to make it up to me. But no, you'd rather use that knife to keep making the same mistake over and over and over.
A subliminal flicker there.
Even after I ripped your heart out, you still cut me. And for what? I didn't go anywhere. You didn't banish me. I'm right back here with you. A little better, a little worse. Well, maybe a lot worse. So, here's how this is going to go. I'm going to take your body.
That's
I'm going to
fun.
walk it
She
out
said
of
that
here.
last time.
And you get to watch me do it. Completely helpless. Just like you left me.
I say we let her do it.
It's something different.
It's something different. Do we even have a choice? You always have a choice.
Uh-huh.
Maybe before, but not now. There isn't a blade this time. Exactly. What choice is there if there isn't a blade? Well, unless you have any specific ideas, I think my vote's the only one that counts.
My controller not working all of a sudden? It's weird. Let me try unplugging it, plugging it back in. Huh. Alright, well I guess I'll just use this then. That's fine. I actually came here to free you.
Great. See you in a jiffy.
You remain pinned to the floor of the long hallway as the rest of the princess's body emerges. Her proportions all wrong, limbs bent and curling, moving in ways that defy your understanding. Her
Art in this
torso
game's really
stretches
great.
until her face is practically touching yours, her neck cracking audibly as she twists to look at you from a fresh angle. Are you sure you can't do anything to help us? Can't you, like, manifest a rock right on top of her head? And crush you along with her? Not that I even can manifest a rock. Besides, I thought you all wanted to free the princess. Not like this. You don't even have a weapon, so I'm afraid you're out of luck, which unfortunately means that I, and the rest of the world, are out of luck too.
And whose fault is it there isn't a weapon here?
Yours, I assume. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Whatever you did in those previous lives of yours, you really messed up.
Are you seriously trying to blame this on us?
Your vision fades as she tears open the membrane of your soul. You're awake. Eyes once again fixed on the long hallway, your vision swimming as the princess's command reverberates inside your skull. Her voice is all-encompassing. You feel wrong.
It's so cramped in here. Like there's some sort of growth trying to push us all out.
I know. You rise to your feet, though the pain in your ankle is blinding. Your body slumps against the wall, desperately leaning into it for support.
I'd beg you to resist, but you've already surrendered your will to her, haven't you?
Anything to get out of this hellhole.
It's a new experience. You should try being possessed sometime. There's nothing else like it.
There's nothing wrong with fixing your mistakes. I'll remember that. But I'll also never forget what you've done.
Your body inches along the corridor, every step more difficult and painful than the last. Your joints stiff and unresponsive, the shattered bones of your ankle grinding ceaselessly, as if they're fragmenting, then reforming, then snapping all over again as you make your way towards the outside world.
We're so close.
But despite the anguish, it doesn't feel like the exit to the cabin is getting any closer. If anything, it's getting further away.
It doesn't matter how long this hallway is. I will drag this body into a little case of meat and feathers. I will be free.
Please, just let her out.
Yes, let me out.
It's pointless, isn't it? I can't stop her without you, and you'd already given up by the time we met. No, screw that. The hallway gets even longer.
You can't describe me into submission. The door is right there.
It really is, isn't it?
I walked to it. I placed your bloody hand on the door. I made you twist the handle.
Isn't saying all of this his job?
That's a good point.
It's gone.
Oh, he really is, isn't he? I had a feeling you could deal with him for us.
I did nothing.
The narrator sounds like Richard
it, then.
Ayoade in Garth
Big
Marenghi's Dark
moments.
Place. I can't not hear
I
it.
just hope it's a way out.
The handle clicks as we push forward. The air is different here.
Taking as you will, witness your enemy's freedom. I like how your Steam achievement history is like a record of the order in which you did stuff too.
We're us again. How interesting. We actually won, didn't we?
What is happening to me?
Oh hey, that's what happens when you leave the story. Went back to the beginning. The narrator's not talking.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Narrator's gone.
He is. Does that mean the world ended? He was never going to outlast us. Good riddance. I'm begging you, don't do this.
I do like that the hero talks to the person holding the controller all the time. I never scared you before.
It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final. It's going to do something to us. I can feel it. Ignore the cowards. You have to look.
It's you, hey. It's still you. Despite everything. It's a nice touch, right? Undertale obviously isn't the first game to mess around with this, but it's a pretty important entry, I think. Well.
Something returns to the long quiet. It has surrendered its path of annihilation and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
You're that thing I met in the space outside the woods, aren't you? Oh, so this only happened because I abandoned the first time and it didn't actually reset? That's kind of cool.
Vague recollections, empty tunnels without a mouth.
But it really didn't. The very first thing I did is the only thing that doesn't get considered. That's kind of funny, actually. They made me think like, oh, okay, so going out technically starts the loop over. Yeah.
Nothing as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know
Their perspectives, the other voices. Oh, so I think that time I picked an explore option, but it did change my options, right? Oops.
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape.
That's funny.
To remold. She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. Seriously? Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, okay, I see. The text was different that time.
That's strange. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess. There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now,
Always a
you're
choice,
making
huh?
the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures.
We have no
through the
evidence that
leaves.
anything exists other than me
But as
and
you
the princess.
focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light.
It's pretty funny.
In every direction, there is a
I guess
path
me, the princess,
and
the
a
narrator,
cabin.
and the void.
And not just a cabin. The cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins.
It's pretty cool.
Desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
Wait, what's going on?
But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death.
Hey, thanks, Six Gun.
You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly
Streamlabs seems to
tromping
be
through the
shitting the bed
wilderness.
for some reason.
But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Stranger.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I can't run away from the cabin. I'm just staying here in the woods forever. Stay in the woods forever.
clever.
Which is the contrarian. That's good.
Oh, it's extremely boring. Can we really do that? Can we really just do nothing? No, you can't just do nothing. You have to do something. Alright, so it's decided. Even if it's boring, we're going to do nothing forever.
Congratulations, you continue to waste everyone's time and do nothing. Wait, can you still hear me? It was getting fuzzy.
What is that weird feeling? It's like I'm barely even here anymore.
Well, it's not nothing, that's for sure. Does that mean we messed up?
Been here before. Brought you the voice of the contrarian. Hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Why have you come back?
You're on a path in the wood. You're here to...
Not doing
Are
this.
you serious? No, you have to do it.
Because I don't get the option anymore. It's too bad. They haven't done too much differently down here.
You walk
Hey, she's not a ghost
downstairs
anymore.
and lock eyes with the princess. You're only make... Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to
Okay,
slay
unfortunately, I'm
the
gonna have the
princess,
same thing
and you
happen.
won't
She's gonna
leave
start to
until
eat
the
her
task is
wrist. Try to do something
You
different.
make your way to the bottom of the stairs.
Finally.
The wound drives her to the ground.
Okay. There's no going back now. I'm with you to the end.
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back. Wounded, but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room and meets your eyes with the ferocity of a cornered predator.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can possibly save you from me.
Well, there's that thing
I
outside.
thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even threatened by us.
It's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt you.
I'm not so sure.
Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm.
Her fingernails there.
Your blade cuts into her again and again as you're tackled
Pretty sure
to the
that
ground, your body
blade
racked with
sound effect
pain,
is
she
also in
rips
RPG
into you
Maker.
with tooth and claw.
Forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got.
Slay the princess.
Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well, your blade having left deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your knees.
Nightraker.
We can still turn this around.
Maybe she'll bleed out.
You steel your resolve and take another step closer to the princess. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can still make sure that she won't make it out of here either.
Excuse me? What's this about not making it out of here alive?
Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone in this room is still standing right now. Don't act so surprised.
Can you not feel all those gashes and holes pulling you apart? If the princess doesn't do you in here, blood loss is certain to finish the job.
You take another step forward, and the princess lunges towards you. The two of you enter one last exchange, a flurry of blade and claw and fleshy ribbons, and then you stop. Neither you nor princess able to go any further. You collapse on the ground, and the princess collapses beside you. Blood pools around you both, and you watch each other fade away.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend, but you were just another monster, weren't you?
Silence as the room starts to get fuzzy around you. You've paid a terrible price, but you've saved us all. It's over.
Hooray!
If you think this is it, you're sorely mistaken. One way or another, I'll make sure you pay for this.
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her.
Well, you're the boss.
Seriously? You're just going to turn
So the
around
different
and leave?
voices are.
Do you even know where you're going? Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange.
I get fractal cabins again. Great acoustics. I don't hate you. I'm sorry I said I hate you. You don't have to hate you. We can still leave this place together. I do like the choice to have text that the narrator is not involved with. What can I do to make you stop?
You're on a path.
Yeah, so it's like every time I get a new voice, I gotta go return it to the void, basically.
Good. You're still listening to reason. You step.
Okay, well, let me pick. Of course it is. She's dead because I've already seen everything at the end of that path, basically, is why it's grayed out.
It's over. You could check her sleeves if you want, but I can assure you that there's nothing hidden up there.
We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse?
I really don't think you should do that.
And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us?
Us.
I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that.
Check for a pulse.
You lean down and place your hand against her neck, holding your breath as you search for a pulse, even though you know you're not going to find one. We definitely won't if you keep talking. I'm sorry, do you want her to be alive? You just saved the entire world from annihilation. Why are you suddenly trying to call that into question? Wait, what was that?
Nice.
You know what that was. That was the sound of a heartbeat, followed by another, and another.
I guess I won't be dying alone after all.
Something sharp digs into your side, the shock of it sending your nerves into a pained frenzy. Quick, let's get out of here. It's too late for that now. You collapse to the ground.
Like how they
as the
make different
mortally
aspects
wounded
of her more
princess
monstrous in the
twists
different
a blade
endings.
of her own deeper between your ribs. As you fall, she falls with you, exhausted by the effort, the little life that was left in her eyes fading rapidly.
An eye for an eye. A life for a life. I guess we're even now. See you around.
Bye.
You were so close. Why did you hesitate? It doesn't matter. At least you managed to take her with you. For whatever that's worth. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The razor.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to
Gotta go turn in this voice.
And away we
Oh,
go.
we've already eaten the cheated.
Good call. Seriously? You're...
The bitch slipped over the table, didn't he? Why? You don't know what you're doing.
You're on a path. Good. You're still listening to reason.
That isn't a good idea. Just drop the knife, and maybe the two of us can talk things out.
She's right, we shouldn't. We should just drop the blade. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want.
There's still stuff to do behind this, I think. Doubt clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through.
A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw.
You really just have to not hesitate.
It feels like you've been
That's
hit
really
with
funny.
a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurts! Though she's
Oh,
unarmed,
shit, I didn't mean to do
your
that.
blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Let's finish the job.
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job. The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
This was fun.
The princess gasps.
She beat the shit out of me.
Her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder. Do you really think this is the end?
No.
But you don't have time to worry over such
Everything goes
things.
dark and you die.
Everything goes dark.
Adversary.
You're on a path. You're here.
We can't
Stubborn,
just leave.
okay.
We're supposed to fight.
Seriously? You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined...
Spool is nearly taut. Come here again, we'll be here forever. Acceptance, this is it.
You're on a path. You're here to...
Ignore him, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I think I'm here to kill you?
Then I'm not talking to you.
doubt.
Okay, we can try give up. Blade falls in your trembling hands, clattering to the ground uselessly.
You lacked the will to finish the job. Your
So is it
bruised
like
and
actually
broken
blocking
body
me
falling to
from
its knees
getting the
before
kill
her.
now? I thought I was picking the same dialogue
The
options as
princess,
before.
exhausted, chest heaving with heavy breaths.
I guess maybe because they don't want you to
tosses the
accidentally
blade
end down
away
the
from
same
her.
route.
This is the end, isn't it?
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
She plants her foot on your chest and pushes you onto your back, the air leaving your lungs in a heavy puff. And then she brings her knee to your throat. She leans into it with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess, shattering your windpipe and leaving you
pretty good.
starved for breath.
It's too bad. I was looking forward to some company.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
Just narrator things. The tower.
You're on a path.
Oh, the
in
music
the
is
woods.
different.
And at the end of that, you're here to slay her.
You're right.
Broken.
We should just leave. There's nothing we can do to stop her, so we might as well enjoy what little time we have left.
Seriously? You're... Fine. You're really keen on
We're
wasting
dead,
everyone's
obviously.
time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the...
You've made a decision. It is the wrong one. I love you. Exist. Consciousness fades away. Just as you were once nothing, so you have become nothing once again. Hey! Right on. So I guess this is also a valid ending, like the one I got at the very beginning. So, Ravanon K5 Josh, what's your intent for me here? Should I start again? I guess if I start again now, I have to, it's going to lose the progress of the things I've already done, right? Or can I pick up back somewhere in the middle of what I just did? This is also atypical. Okay. So try to continue to exist. Oh, I didn't realize I had to manually save, so it didn't make any saves for me partway through. I guess I can still fast forward through things though, right? Yeah, that's why I asked earlier about, oh, it did make auto saves, okay. Maybe we can pick up one of these then.
You're really keen on...
Okay, that just happens until I pick consciousness fades away. Let's see. Uh-oh. Did I just overwrite all of my saves by doing that? By clicking exist every single time? Fuck. Well... So, what do y'all recommend I do? This game is very interesting. I like it. I did get 2 endings. I guess I assume the game still remembers that I got these 2 endings, so it would still fast forward correctly. Okay, I'll try to get through it as quick as I can then.
She will lie.
Don't worry. The interior of the cabin is a
different now.
mess of twisted roots. The walls are
So,
chaotic weave
should I
of
try to
knotted wood
recreate all
that,
my
almost as
choices
if
from
by
before,
accident,
or
just
is
happens
losing
to
the
resemble
voices
a
by
room?
taking them back to the
The
void
floor is damp
just as
and
bad
earthy.
as starting
The only
over?
furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement.
You'll need it if you want to do this right.
So when you say if needed, play another hour down the line, is there like an intended ending or something?
Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. That's not...
This is already one I haven't seen before, so maybe I need to go back and undo this already.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper.
Is it just a matter of making sure that I'm making choices that advance the chapters instead of it continuing to reset back to 1?
If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
Okay.
Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on
I thought
my
maybe it was
stairs.
advance the chapters, but then I noticed that it remembered that I went to the void the first time rather than wiping that, so... Yeah, makes sense.
Silence, I see. Don't think I've forgotten about you. I recognized the sound of your nervous little footsteps as soon as they came into my home. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions?
Miss Voice of the Cold.
Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine, fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the
extra
dark
monstrous
room
now.
below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, one hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
She's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh no. You've already been here, haven't you? That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. Do you remember us then? Do you remember
No, he just doesn't.
last time?
It's the same narrator, but doesn't have the same experiences.
No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
It's a lot of options.
Without uttering a word, you charge the princess. So much for finding an easy way out. I can't believe you're making us work for it.
Better a violent fool than a plotting coward. Better for me, at least.
As you close the distance, readying your strike, the princess's
Knives
chain
out,
falls
mask
from her
off.
wrist.
I guess your one opportunity is when you have literally not ever once hesitated, like my first playthrough.
She could have gotten out of those
Pocket
the whole
sand.
time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. It's a shame we're playing opposite teams. This is why you couldn't just abandon her here. Left to her own devices, she would always find a way out. Now stop her.
You must have known I would be ready for you. Deep in your heart, you know the same things about me I know about you. We're both so very awful.
As you brush the silt from your eyes, the princess tackles you, flattening you against the dirt floor.
We were always going to kill each other here, weren't we? I can't trust you, and you can't trust me, and those doubts spin and spin and spin into hate.
She buries her teeth deep into your chest, tearing at... Right, she's distracted. Stab her in
About
the
to say
back.
tearing at feathers.
In for a penny, right? Why not? As the princess rips meat from bone, you plunge your weapon into her unprotected back.
Ha, you bastard!
I really like the touch of the hero being like monstrously shaped in the game, not directly commenting on that, just having it be in the art.
Maybe we are the same. So what? Throw her off us. Kick her in the shins. We don't have to fight so dirty. Of course we do. Fighting clean won't help us win. It takes a wretch to know a wretch, and we're all at the bottom of the barrel here. There's no point in pretending otherwise. Are we at the bottom of the barrel? We've got dirt in our eyes and a chunk of us chewed out. If that's not the bottom of the barrel, what is? No arguments here. You're doing great. Keep playing dirty if that's what it takes. But if we win, we won't be at the bottom anymore. We'll have climbed a little higher. And once we start climbing, well, who knows where we'll stop? You'll stop right here if you keep daydreaming. Don't let yourself get distracted thinking about what comes after. None of us ever said we stopped fighting. What a low and vicious fight it is. Eyes gouged, skin scratched bloody, hair ripped and nails broken. Every rule there ever was in the Book of Honourable Combat. Both you and the princess have broken 12 times over. That's nice and all, but are we winning? Nobody's winning. I thought playing dirty was supposed to give you the upper hand, but I suppose that doesn't work if you both sink to the same lows. Still, at least you're not losing. The princess cackles
really
maniacally as the fracture
Shocking amount of original hand-drawn art behind all these different routes.
You hear the low groan of warping wood. Wait, what's going on? We're establishing a newer, better packing order. No, the groaning thing. Why is the wood making noise? Who cares about the groan? It's just a sound. Things make sounds all the time. I care about the groan. Doesn't that mean something bad is happening? Oh, yes, well, I'm afraid that's the sound of the basement getting smaller.
Do you hear that, you pathetic wretch? Those are the roots of the
Cat
wild.
mouth.
They're coming to choke the breath from your lungs and squeeze the life out of you.
Excuse me, what? You and the princess disengage for a brief moment, just long enough to get your bearings. Behind you, the basement door has been sealed over, thick roots barring your only exit from the dirt pit. And slowly, but very perceptibly, the roots are closing in on you both.
That's right. They're coming for you. And they won't stop until there's nothing left down here but them.
It's fair.
You attack the princess once more, and once more the two of you fall into a vicious brawl. The basement continues to shrink as you fight, but neither of you pay it any more mind. Not until it's too late. The
roots twist around you both, binding your limbs and rendering you helpless. As your fates close in, all you can do is watch her, and all she can do is watch you. At first it's almost gentle, the two of you lifted delicately off the ground. But the cradle of the growing roots soon gives way to tightness, and that tightness gives way to bulging pressure as they begin to constrict. The sound of creaking wood is drowned out by the snaps and pops of your bones.
Pretty shitty way to die.
Flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living basement. Tears well up in the princess's eyes, her own bones splintering and flesh swelling with trapped blood. But still she smiles through it all.
I can't wait to do this again, you wretched little thing. I hate you, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
The pressure is unbearable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head pounding as everything tightens. And then you pop. Everything goes dark. And you die.
Wild.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end, but something cold.
So if you guys want me to get some specific intended endings, my intent here was, since you said that trying to leave the cabin in chapter 2 led to the ending I got before, I was going to leave the cabin again in chapter 3. Should I not do that to get the ending you want me to get?
Stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're
That's
on
funny.
a path
I like
in
that.
the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it?
A lot, actually.
Oh no. How many times have you been here? I think this is our 3rd? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3,
Okay.
well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What
Just don't run
happened
away
the
in
last
general,
time?
'cause it
What could
doesn't
you
get
have
the ending you guys want.
possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye.
Thought I
or
did that,
with a
but I guess not.
passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you
Gotcha.
do? Sure, there's no reason to keep secrets. Someone decided to go in guns blazing last time, and that someone got us killed. And what should we have done? Let you draw things out with all that conniving? Everyone knows a straight fight is best. It's honest.
Oh, that's funny.
There's no need to bicker about it. I wasn't trying to start anything. I don't mind what happened to us. I kind of like it now that we aren't actively being crushed. Yeah, now that you mention it, this isn't so bad. And it's not like the fight is what killed us anyway, it was the cabin. No point worrying about who charged who when that place ground us all into paste in the end. The princess included.
It was a
For time
fitting
reasons, is
end.
it best if I just stay
I'm
on whatever I'm
sorry
doing
if it
now?
hurt, but doesn't this make it all seem so small?
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck together. What a mess.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel
Okay,
it?
sounds good. I guess this isn't... If I had to pick, I would pick leave at the beginning or try to make the voice of the cold come back, since that was the first route I sort of took. Do nothing.
You can start by remembering that you exist, and not as some part of a gestalt entity formed with the princess.
You exist as your own self, complete with your own physical body separate from hers.
I'm not so sure about that. We were something like that once, but now?
And if thinking about that isn't enough to startle you back to reality, consider this. She committed a murder-suicide using a living cabin.
Right. That was unpleasant. We weren't big fans of that, I think.
I'm sure I would have had us do the same thing if we were in her shoes. We really do make a great pair. He's probably just jealous. You need to remember that you and the princess are enemies. Don't let bygones be bygones. Remember what she's done to you and how much it hurt.
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the doubting and the hatred and the schemes. Not after being something as beautiful as this. Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
Spoken like, honestly, a real puppet master. Have we considered that maybe she's the one trying to trick us?
I'm not.
But there's a feeling, isn't there? That petty feeling she mentioned, it is fuzzy, but it's there. Almost like she still hates us.
It feels mutual.
Please, stop. If you pay attention to that feeling, we'll fall apart. Don't look at it!
She's trying to turn you away from the truth. There's something she doesn't want you to see. I think you already know you have to look at it. Hold yourself together. We're no strangers to effort. We can push this back down. Something might do us in eventually, but I'll be damned if that something is a thought.
Gaze at the hatred in your heart.
Please, don't make us remember how we were.
And just like that, you start to fall apart. Right, she really does hate us, and we hate her. It hurts thinking about us as separate things, but we're separate. We can't hate ourselves. I love me. We never got to see the end of that fight, did we? And we can't both be winners. One of us has to beat the other, right?
I don't want to remember what it felt
Kind of like the
to be
idea of
killed.
staying Gestalt, but
It was so much nicer when it didn't feel like it mattered.
And yet you keep remembering. You remember the loathing and animosity you've shared with the princess, the pain and the anger and the betrayal. You start to remember something else, too. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. You can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearranging back into the shape of what you're meant to be.
Maybe bygones can't be bygones. I don't know why I ever wanted to share a body with you, of all things. It's like my very soul reeks of yours. That was horrible. This is better. Finally, I'll be able to hurt you like you deserve. I wish I didn't have to.
Some division, when sown,
some tears
can
can
never
never be
truly
mended.
be mended. A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were. A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body whole. And then you find yourself,
Whoa.
blade in hand, exactly where you need to be. At the center of it all is the princess, a wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose. Strike at her. End this once and for all.
Kill me then, if you hate me so much. Just get it over with.
This doesn't feel like a fight. This isn't what I wanted. Where's the victory in this? Well, this should be easy. If you're sure about it. I mean, What's the point of being king of the hill if there's no one around to be better than? We'd just be sitting on a hill.
Do we have to do this? You have to. You know you have to.
Slay the princess.
You raise the blade, taking aim at her heart. And then you strike.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Fuck. Does this mean I'm on the wrong route again since I'm seeing the hands?
She's gone. Where did she go?
Okay.
Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
Okay, we've done this before.
I'm begging you. Screw the mirror. They think it's better.
Something
Oh, it looks different this time, though.
in the long quiet, and brings me the gift of a
Let's attack the entity.
My roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight. We cannot harm each other as we are now. There's nowhere for you to be but here.
But this is having me forget again, so aren't I losing progress again back into chapter 1? Just don't turn around and leave, I guess.
Good. You're still listening to reason. You lunge forward without a... This is... I do. Thank...
Okay.
You reach forward, and now it's gone. Let's not spend... Without a moment's hesitation, you lash out with your blade. You continue down. You reach your nothing.
Okay.
She's gone. And there's that. Ignore the coward.
You've grown. Float. That's nice.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
But not really. Okay.
I await your return, but we will meet again.
So was I not counting as bringing her vessels when I was abandoning on chapter 2 every time?
Good. You're still listening to reason.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. Well, I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with.
We'll be fine.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help. And if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
Made my choice, locking her in the basement.
I know you think this is a fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here.
It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work. If we just stay here and keep watch, no one has to die.
You're making a mistake.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way to the stairs.
It won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
That's fine.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing.
Either way, she dropped her mask, didn't she? You can still turn around and finish the job.
I was afraid I'd already committed to not slaying
It'll be
her.
the death of all of us, but fine. Have it your way.
You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly
I'm worried now that
barricading
anytime the
heavy
game
wooden
is giving me
table that
obvious
once held
off ramps
the
to something, it's because it's leading to a unique ending that I have to start over from.
Okay,
Oops.
we can make this work.
You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare.
As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
I like that both the
When I get out of
narrator
here,
and
I'm
the
going to pick
hero
you
talk
apart
to the person with the
piece
controller. It's cool.
by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it. You won't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker.
No, it doesn't.
Ignore her and go to sleep.
Just ignore her. Maybe the banging and wailing will stop if you just don't pay attention to it.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar. Its lock
Spooky.
broken, and the table shoved out of the way.
Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful basement.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach.
Whose side are you on?
Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Pretty spooky.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only helped me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time, but we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends.
I kind of wish whenever you picked an option, it had like a little
I'm
fast
sorry,
forward icon
but it is.
prior to it. If selecting
Everything
it as
goes
something you've
dark,
already done, and you'll be able to fast forward what's
and you
immediately
die.
after it. I get why they don't do that, right? But there's a couple previous routes that I'd like to just push through, but I don't
You're
remember
on a
exactly what I
path
selected to
in
get
the
to them.
woods, and you're here to slay.
Running before you go further.
She will lie.
I don't think lying and cheating is her thing. She was very direct with us last time. Or at least she was direct with us after we decided to lock her away.
It doesn't matter. Don't trust anyone.
Paranoid.
The interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table, knocked on its side in the corner of the room. A pristine blade stands between you and the open, inviting basement doorway. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Hold on. What happened to the door? It's just an empty frame. She's already gotten out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on us?
I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle to get the job done. So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task awaits, and only you can do it.
There's the mirror.
What are you talking about?
Did he make it go away? Clearly there was something in there worth investigating if he wants it hidden so bad. Good.
Is it gonna be enough, though? Couldn't you have given us something else?
A bomb.
Something, I don't know, better than a knife? Could we have a bomb?
I like all
Blade
those
is
spooky
the only
ghosts in the
thing you
windows.
need to finish your task. You're more than capable of pulling this off, so long as you don't lose faith in yourself. Those are the words of someone who knows he's sending us to our death. You cross over the
Creepy.
threshold and onto a series of isolated steps suspended in darkness.
More eyes, too. You never mentioned the eyes.
The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Come back? She must have you confused with someone
Nope.
else.
World hopping.
You really don't remember, do you? It doesn't matter, we need a game plan. We know we can't just go down there unprepared.
How hard is it to throw a knife? We don't need a plan. I'm just gonna kill her. Mr. Narrator seems to think I can do it. I don't know why you're all being such pessimists.
Finally, a voice of reason. The rest of you should take notes. You know why I'm being a pessimist.
I'm just asking questions.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones, visible against the inky black of the basement, mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways. At what seems to be the end of the room, they diverge in opposite directions, left and right.
She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed.
It's fine.
Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is?
No, I'm not.
We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again.
Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter, because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
You turn back to the stairs, only to find that they aren't there. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are. I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches, your legs suddenly go numb.
Oh, not this again.
Your arms quickly follow.
This is it, isn't it?
And you brought your little knife with you again. Cute.
There has to be a way out of this. Think.
Sounds like the same
What did
vocal
you
filter
do?
they use in Persona
Pull yourself
5.
together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Your vision cuts out as your blood begins to coagulate. It's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching halt. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. What are you doing?
Whoa,
I'm working.
sorry. Your lungs pull in a desperate couple of as your eyes shoot back open.
And then experience stops once more as your body reapproaches death. Okay, whatever you were doing, please just start doing it again.
You sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want? Or do you want to interrupt me some more?
You have seconds left.
Yes, I'm sure.
Heart, lungs. Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp.
Is it like
for breath.
recognizing that I'm interrupting what he's saying?
Decide what you want to do.
It's kind of
can't
cool.
you?
Nerves. Heart.
Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead. Even if you look ridiculous.
Liver.
She isn't attacking us.
Heart.
Why?
The why doesn't matter. She's already proven her ill intent. Don't lose sight of your mission. Your weapon is still in your hands. Strike at her and end this before it's too late.
Okie dokie. Slay the princess.
This path is already worn by travel and has been seen by one of my many eyes. You cannot walk it again.
Oh,
Change your
okay,
course.
so
Wait, what?
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs.
toss the blade, remain in your nightmare.
Are you serious? You fling the blade into the void, denying yourself the opportunity to
I
ever
tried,
slay her
narrator.
and
The
finish
super
your
narrator,
mission.
the princess, superseded
He's
you.
happy here, but maybe it's for the best.
You poor deluded thing. Do you think a single moment of bravery changes you into something you're not? I am what I am, and you're always going to be a coward.
She raises a hand to her mask and pulls it down.
It's very
You don't get the chance to see what lies beneath before it envelops
Twin
you.
Peaks season 3.
Like a creeping mold, the complete reality of your existence threads its way through your mind. Birth, death, birth again, decay and bloom, a million stitches from a million microscopic wounds you've inflicted on everyone you've ever met, with every muscle you've moved and every word you've ever spoken.
It's good.
No.
Let me out.
Your existence
hurts them.
Let me out!
A lonely soul in a room by itself, weeping. It lives for 80 years and then it's gone. And then it's there again.
Let me out!
A reprieve, a good life, love, children, a steady career, recognition from your peers. Here one moment, gone the next. The worms have found their orifices.
Let me out!
Diagnosis. It forgets everything it is. Anger, rage, distance, poverty. The lonely soul is lonely again. Love turns to mockery. It dies. It is reborn.
I'm sure they did some kind of
Worse.
trick to get the squiggly art, because usually what you do with that is you draw it, and then you have to draw it again by tracing it, and then you just animate between them.
What's
But
happening
having to
us?
double all of the art in the game would have been so difficult.
This is all too much. I can't keep going.
Sorry, narrator.
You can't keep going? Well, what are you talking about?
Doesn't respond.
Oops, I think I broke you. I'll see you soon. You'll know what to do.
Body is dead, but you live on. Oh, that's cute. Moment of clarity. I like that.
You're on a path in the
Void.
Shit. What the hell was that? Who are we? What are we doing? There was a princess, I think. It's all so fuzzy.
What? Cold plus
It hurts
broken.
when I try to remember. You shouldn't know about the princess. At least, not until I... You've already been here, haven't you? I guess. It feels so long ago, almost like we've never left. We have to let her out. No, that's the opposite of what you're here to do. You have to slay her. Slay? We decided not to do that, didn't we? Yeah, we're supposed to let her out. It's really the only way this works out for us. If you think about it, she's the one with power here. Nobody else can do much of anything. No, we were supposed to keep her trapped there forever. I think. We're supposed to be unfeeling. How many times do I have to tell you to snuff out your heart? We can't be unfeeling. Not when there's so much fear everywhere.
Okay, so some of these, I never got the hunted before.
There's
I've got the
nothing for us to
contrarian.
do. We've already tried everything. We love her, so we have to set her free. Can we love something that hates
I didn't
us?
get the skeptic.
Can we love something that hurts us? To be given an ounce of kindness from something so cruel
I love
would
the
be more
Smitten's
pure
performance.
than any other love.
It's all the
Why
same
are there
voice
so
actor,
many of
right?
us?
For the hero
There
and
aren't
the
supposed to be so many of
voices
us.
and the narrator.
This is bad. You need to get a grip. What did you let happen? How many
That
times
seems
have
very
you been
Disco
here?
Elysium inspired. So never do nothing or stay put, right? This counts as abandoning the run like it did last time. This is the one I want to select, but I don't want to select one that's going to keep me from getting the ending y'all want. Or is selecting this bottom one a legitimate way to continue here? Okay, if you're not sure, then proceeding is probably safe, so I'll just do that.
You slowly make your way through the umbral forest, bumping against unseen trees as you grasp through the darkness for a way forward. But eventually,
Yeah, I guess
you
so.
do make it.
Empty hill.
No, this isn't right. There's a cabin there. There's always supposed to be a cabin there. Don't ask him about the mirror. He always says he never sees it. He always lies. And
he
Yeah, but I'm worried,
always
Serp,
makes
that if
it
I make
gone.
the choice now, I'm going to abandon the
Stay
route without
focused.
realizing that I
You
abandoned
still
it.
have a job to do, and it's best not to be distracted by fraying thoughts. There is no mirror. You know that as well as I do.
She's still here, buried deep inside the earth. Just walk up the hill. You always give too much space to the others. It's why you always lose.
You walk up the hill, hesitating just beyond the bounds of the cabin. The cabin that isn't there. You've got to clean the mirror, haven't you? You've got to see what's in it. Smash it to pieces.
She's on the other side, and we have to let her out. It's the only way we can be free.
It's the only way we can have our thoughts back. Just go around it.
Just do something. It doesn't matter what.
Proceed. Proceed to where? I'm afraid you're going to have to be a little more specific. That's a new one. Do you think it'll work? Of course it'll work. He always makes the best
Oh,
decisions.
that's how that's supposed to work?
It's
Okay.
why he gets to make them.
And it already has worked. It's gone, don't you see? We're one step closer to her.
The interior of the cabin is much the same as the exterior of the cabin. A dull, fuzzy, dreamlike nothing. It's empty and isolating, but there's just enough vague shape and unknown texture to suggest the structure therein. Wrong and unsettling as it may be. The only object of note is a pristine blade buried in the dirt floor, a hint of its shining edge teasing through the sediment. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right.
Take it. It's the only way forward.
Take the blade. The only way forward, you've already tried everything else. Don't you remember? You have to take the blade. It's cool.
You reach down to take the blade, but as you do, the ground beneath it shifts, the weapon sinking deep into the earth. You lean over the hole and gaze into the abyss. It is so very deep. Deep in the bowels of the earth, you see something staring back at you. It fills you with dread.
What's up, girl?
It's her. She's watching us. She never stops watching us.
You really are a coward.
With every word she speaks, the princess in the pit blinks closer.
I was joking when I
Pretty
said
good.
that way back
Pretty
when.
the ring.
You know that, right?
Closer.
I was having some fun, and I guess I wanted to see if I could melt you.
And closer.
Watching over me forever? That was so brave.
And closer.
But forever is so, so long. And time erodes everything. Except for me. I've already taken your will, and you're not getting it back. All that's left is for you to take my hand and let me out. It'll be so much fun. You and me, together, exploring the world and spreading fear wherever we go. Well, mostly just me. But you'll get to be there too. A witness. I can even make you a little cage if you want. Gilded and everything.
Sounds great.
Now don't pose. Don't try to resist. I've already molded you into what I need. And you lost your power so long ago. Don't bother working yourself into a frenzy to get it back.
Do something. Do anything that isn't taking her hand.
Just an object, a tool. You were once something else a long time ago. Something you, or is it just a dull and jaded memory? And there is no other ending here. Just take her hand and set her free.
You extend your hand to hers. For all her past cruelties, the moment feels gentle. Tender, even.
It's
I
funny.
can't believe you just made me say that. I hate you. The motion is difficult at first, as if something still resists your efforts. But then that resistance gives way, and it's over.
And that's the end. I wonder what we're going to do next.
I didn't think I'd be so tired. Why is it so cold?
Gotcha again. I guess that's what I thought I was doing when I was abandoning, but I guess I'm trying to bring the princess to the hands, not the voices. And that's not even really legitimate. I mean, one of the achievements it gave me and said that I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I thought I was going for like a deliberate thing.
She's gone. Yeah. I can finally think again. Almost. That mirror's back.
What does that mean for us? I'm sure it'll be whisked away, just like her.
Because every time I did it, I
Maybe
lost
it might be
whatever
gone.
voice I just had with me. I'm like, oh,
Things are
okay, so
different
this is
now,
collecting the
aren't they?
voices for her.
Doesn't seem like there's much else to do here.
Finally, we can smash it.
Oh, will you stop with the smashing?
What do we say, boys? One last vain attempt to look at ourselves.
Yeah. I think I'd like that.
Seems we've got a majority. All that's left is to give it a look.
Approach the mirror. I'm not sure. I got a good ending at the very beginning. The very first thing I did was, well, it called it the good ending. I guess it's actually also a bad ending because the game ends so quickly.
Something tells me that this is the end of the line. But I don't feel bad about it.
And then I got another
I'm ready. It
terminus
feels-
ending at some point, so I've mostly just been fast forwarding to try to get to the
It
content
feels-
that I guess is in the typical endings.
I'm done fighting. My heart feels quiet. The game was always going to end. I'll be free of all of you. I'm ready for the truth. I'm ready to sleep.
I'm just ready to be anywhere that isn't here.
Boys, it's been an honor.
Gaze into your reflection. You've withered.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
Contradictions don't exist.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
You're on.
Okay. You try to do one that I've already done, so I've definitely gone in the basement before without the knife.
Great job. You've given away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess.
I think this is where I tried to save her. Yeah, I've done this one before.
Fine.
Okay.
She will lie. Forget, but he last time.
I think he just likes to hear this.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They
I guess I
must
ran
be
away after I did that the
expressed.
first time.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet.
Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine threaded tapestries. A prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that. Just anything about the mirror. Well, the mirror never works, so.
I suppose if we're to play the role of dashing knight, we need an equally dashing sword. That way she'll know we can defend her from her enemies.
Hopefully it doesn't put her on edge. There's no use arguing over motivations right now. It's good that you took the blade. You'll need it to do your job. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall.
I've heard that before.
Now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
I think it's the first time the prose is referred to the actual look of the hero.
But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I think we're in love. Okay, I'm with you that we should be doing whatever we can to save her, but saying we're in love is a bit much, don't you think? We don't even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation.
Makes sense.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to
Her
rescue
shape
you
is
from
different
your
every time, depending
unjust
on
and
what you did
foul
last time.
imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back? You've been here before, haven't you?
Yep.
That's right, villain. And you killed us.
Well, she killed us.
Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world, but everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever, especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible.
Slay the princess.
Blade in hand, you run the princess down.
Wait, no! You barbarian, what do you think you're doing?
But you ignore the pleas of the foolish little voice and press on. The princess's eyes grow wide with terror as you approach, but she does absolutely nothing to stop you. Your blade pierces her heart, and she collapses pathetically to the ground.
I'm sorry. Did I do something wrong?
No, my love, you did nothing wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not you.
I'm going to die now. I think that's what you want.
And just like that, she's dead.
Slay an
World
innocent.
is saved. Thank you for seeing this through. I know it must have been difficult. feel sick.
Sick? You took part in the murder of the fairest creature that's ever lived. And you merely feel sick.
Hey, thank you, Pickbreaker.
I, for one, am
My
absolutely distraught.
alerts are busted today for some reason.
Grief-stricken.
Figure it out later.
Inconsolable.
You'll get over it. You just saved everyone.
Get over it. You smarmy ass. There's nothing in the world worth getting over it for. We might as well just end it all.
You raise the blade, aiming the point directly towards your heart. Excuse me? No, you absolutely do not do that. Yeah, let's not make any rash decisions. We should give ourselves a minute, take a deep breath, and...
Rash. The only rash decision we've made was running our cursed blade through her heart. This is far from rash. This is measured. This is the only thing left for us to do now that she's gone.
Let's go for it.
Really? You're not going to say anything?
All of you may have previously thought that my passions were too great to stifle, but those were merely passions of joy. My passions of sorrow run deeper than the ocean itself, and you'll find that they are far more unstiflable. Haven't you? Haven't you all?
I don't believe this. What? What don't you believe? You plunge the blade into your own heart and collapse to the floor. You can't be serious. Why are you helping him? I'm not. He just made it happen. I'm sorry.
That's right. You're all sorry.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
The Grey.
You're on a path in the woods.
You horrid monster. Do you think just because we've returned to the woods you've earned my forgiveness? Our beloved had best be alive and well when we return to the cabin, or you'll never know the end of my wrath.
She won't be alive and well when we return to that cabin, because she's dead. We killed her.
You killed her. And so
that also produces the
killed
cold. I guess you get the cold whenever you actually
clearly
succeed.
didn't do a good enough job. I'm still here.
Whenever you succeed and
I'm
then
still here too.
kill yourself, I guess.
If you lot get to be blessed with seemingly eternal life, that must mean she's still there, waiting for us to throw ourselves at her feet in remorse.
I doubt it. I think I'm better at killing than you are.
So you've been here before. Of course you've been here before. What count is it this time? 2?
It's our third. What gave it away?
Your open discussions. I couldn't care less what he knows. Every second we stand around arguing in the woods is a second that I'm anxiously worrying about her. Take us to the cabin and take us there now. With each passing moment, our relationship may be damaged even further, though I fear the rift between us may already be permanent.
And if it is permanent, then what? You'll kill us again?
Oh, you just wait and see. My vengeance will echo the depths of my bereavement.
This one's actually kind of interesting compared to all the other
First we
voices.
didn't die again. I'm not fond of dying. Why not? You've already done it twice.
It was unpleasant.
It was only unpleasant because you think it's supposed to be unpleasant.
Fair.
I'll make you feel what I feel if it's the last thing I do. And mark my words, you won't like it when it happens.
Oh, how exciting. I'd love to see you try.
Can I? Well, I'm not just going to try. I'm going to actually do it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Good. I am.
I like getting the unique interactions between the different voices.
Yes, I can. Great. Now that you're listening, let me remind you that if you're here in the woods, it means that the princess is not dead, and that her very existence currently poses a direct threat to the entire world.
We're not allowed to leave.
I'm sure you've already heard my words of warning in one of your past lives. You've already managed to slay her once, just don't muck it up this time, alright?
Okay.
Oh, we'll muck it up alright. We'll get our happy ending, even if it damns each and every person who's ever lived. Whatever you do, don't let him influence a single decision. He's clearly lost it. I hate that I'm agreeing with him on anything, but I really don't like being at the whims of someone so unstable. It's stressful. Yes, having all those feelings isn't very productive, is it? But we're just passengers here. Why stress over something you can't control? You're saying that like stress is just something you can turn off. It is. It's easy. Whatever happens, happens. Are you even alive? What's the point of doing anything if you're not going to feel a single emotion? I don't know. I just exist. And that's fine with me. This is horribly unproductive. The cabin and your extremely important destiny await.
Let's go. What does it look like this time?
The interior of the cabin feels dry and brittle. Ancient dust-covered wooden beams hold up a crumbling ceiling like mummified ribs, each elegantly carved detail of the stately building preserved in an extended stasis. Everything here has been kept safe and dry and lifeless. But
I feel like that the mirror doesn't have the squiggle effect on it.
Watching you. There is a figure faintly outlined against the dusty wood of the far wall. Is that her? Our beloved. So she does live. She doesn't look very alive to me. Before you can make a move, the figure is gone, vanishing behind the door on the far side of the room. The door at the end of the room, but there isn't a door, it's just that damn mirror again. Ah yes, the mirror. So we can see the monster we've become. If it even lets us look before it vanishes too. The mirror?
I do like the
Some
recurring
kind of
mirror thing.
Did you all plan this out before dying?
Seems like a cross
There is no
between
mirror. There's the
Stanley
door to the
Parable,
basement, the table,
Braid,
the
and
pristine
Undertale, I
blade.
guess.
Huh. That's strange. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? Maybe it's gone because we've already killed her with it. Perhaps it's gone because an oh-so-deserved guilt has started to worm its way into each and every one of you. Perhaps all of you do feel just as bad as I about what we've done. Though if you felt the oppressive guilt I feel, we would have manifested that weapon directly into our heart. I suppose it doesn't matter why the blade is gone, but you're going to have to find it if you're going to do this right. So why don't you march over to that door and make your way down to the basement?
Approach the mirror.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You must think you're looking at that mirror you mentioned earlier, the one that doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open the door. It's still so hazy. We should try and clean it off. Yes, trying to touch it does seem to be the magic spell to get it out of our way. It's time for all of you to see what we've become. You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. The handle is just a little to your right, and a little down. So much for our reflection. We didn't need to see ourselves anyway. I'm much more interested in seeing other things. I see. We are too hideous for even a mirror to behold. We can only hope she might still see some good in us. No way left to go but down. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an antique staircase lit by weak torchlight. The air here is so stale it practically stands still, as if the very molecules of this place have been fossilized, trapped for eons until your arrival. Even the blaze of the torches can't penetrate the odorless air, as if they'd run out of fuel to burn ages ago, their light still flickering more out of habit than from adhering to a physical reality. A wispy figure watches you from the bottom of the stairs, face veiled in shadow. There she is again. My love. She's just an old memory. Your eyes lock for a brief moment, then she vanishes around the corner.
Sorry about last time. Are we good?
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, her wrist still bound to the wall by a heavy chain. This cell is a dark and isolated place, with not so much as a window to allow starlight to penetrate the gloom. See? She's dead.
No. What foul trickery is this? How can this be? We just saw her alive and well a moment ago, floating away transparently.
Whatever we saw was a ghost. I thought we were all on the same page. Do try to keep up. Your thoughts
Trying to
are interrupted
remember
by
the
sound
runs
of
I
a
did
slamming
before so
door.
I can pick the same choices and
You turn to
after
see
we
the
go
shade
back
of
to the vessel
princess
here.
staring down at you from the top of the stairs, clutching
I think I did one where I didn't bring the knife.
So that's where the blade is. It's already in her heart. And yet she isn't dead.
She's a spooky
She
ghost.
is dead. Have you never heard of a ghost before?
Oh, for the love of... Can we not waste time arguing over the semantics of what is and isn't dead? She is clearly conscious. She clearly just slammed the door on you, and she clearly has a weapon. Your pristine blade sticking out of her chest. This is extremely bad. Catastrophic, even.
Yeah, dead or not, what are we supposed to do about her? Slaying or destroying, if we want to be a little more death neutral,
Death
seems off the
neutral.
table.
We make amends. She obviously still holds us in her heart. She's bearing a torch for us and everything.
But she hasn't said anything. Are you sure she can talk like this?
You came back. I missed you.
That angelic voice. I missed you too, my beloved.
You sure snapped back to your old self quick.
Yes, seeing her dazzling countenance again has reignited the warmth in my heart. I have found it in me to forgive the sins this body has committed. We can have our perfect romance after all.
This is a bad place. We're supposed to be together, but it keeps making us hurt each other.
The torch falls from the princess's hand and bounces down the stairs.
It'll be so much better when it's gone.
The skeletal wood of the basement, perfectly dry after uncountable years of desiccation, immediately catches fire.
She's trying to kill us. A misplaced escalation of her passions, but clearly she still cares for us. I say we burn with her.
As you rush up the stairs towards the princess, the entire cabin erupts into a raging inferno. You push through the flames, trying to ignore the choking hot air filling your lungs. You manage to
She
reach
looks
her,
way different than the
your
other
hand
ghost
wrapping
form.
around the hilt of the blade. The metal is already blistering hot. Your hand sizzles as it melts on contact. You can't so much as pull away, your nerves seizing up as they're fried, the bones of your hand fusing in place around the weapon. The princess, smiling warmly
It's
as her skin
Sans.
bubbles away, places her hand on yours and clutches it to her chest. The pain is unbearable at first.
Every inch of you screams as your flesh is stripped away, your muscles stiffening as they're cooked, your blood boiling in your veins. But it isn't long before the flames take your nerves, and with them, your ability to feel much of anything. See? That wasn't so bad. It was so bad.
But somehow, nothing is so much worse.
You'll get used to it. There are still the feelings of the heart. Those never go away.
Oh, they always do in the end. You just haven't experienced enough. Eventually you'll want them to stop too. You'll make them stop. Trust me.
The princess's smile never fades. Her skin peels away, and then her muscle, until all you can see is her charring skull, locked in an eternal grin. It's very romantic.
Burning down the house.
We got our happy ending after all. We can die happy.
She's gone. Ignore the cowards.
You've unraveled.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are.
Oh, good.
I will be here, waiting
That's
for
presumably the intended ending y'all are talking about. Okay, so I think I had one. I'm trying to remember.
Good. You're still listening to I'm positive. I'm not. But we'll keep our eyes peeled. If she has a weapon, she'll have to
No,
draw
I guess I
it
haven't done that one before.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other?
Blood sprays from the cut, your severed carotid artery painting the princess with strokes
I think this
of
is a
red.
different one then.
Better finish your task quickly before you run out of time. With the last bit of your will, you press forward, sinking the blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh,
The two of you collapse
I
on
think I've
the
seen something
Somehow,
similar to
I
this.
thought this would turn out a little differently. But I wonder, do you really think that this was enough to stop me?
It's like she's convinced she can't.
Yeah, I have
die.
seen this before. That's weird.
But you don't have time to worry over such
Everything goes
things.
dark and you die.
Everything. A terrible sense of deja vu. If he doesn't.
Sorry.
Yeah, but it calm. She will. He couldn't be. We know what to just. The interior
this is
of the
different.
cabin is a jagged mess of warped wood and broken boards, their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. It feels a bit better to have a weapon in our hands. Let's make her hurt for what she's done to us. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they'd been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. and you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favour.
That's right, scraping. I told you she has something, I told you.
That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get out of your head.
Yeah, I guess I
Her
didn't
grating
comprehend that what I
voice
was doing
carries
was
up the
aborting
stairs.
routes, right? I guess that's the problem with a game like this. Like, they're all so dependent on choose your own adventure book style routes that
There is
are,
something so wrong
to a
with
blind
that
player,
voice.
not detectable.
Yeah, she thinks she's better than us.
This
Like
is
she
one of
doesn't
my
even
issues
have
with
to put on an
999. I thought it was a
act
cool
this
game, but like the way you finish it is like super arbitrary.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room. I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody! Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
Come on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us, but she can't hide that threatening edge to her voice. She just wants us to get close, to let our guard down.
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right?
Yeah, I'm not trusting this. Bye.
The princess falls silent, her smile unwavering as you charge across the room.
Okay, she hasn't pulled out a knife yet, and her hands are still behind her back. I think we can do this. I think we can win. We just have to strike now, but make sure you keep your eyes on those hands. I don't trust her for a second.
But your focus is broken by the horrible sound of metal slicing through meat.
Whose meat? Not ours, right?
Hers, at first. Then yours.
And I guess getting the good ending on the first attempt.
Ow! What did she even hit us with?
You stare down at your chest and at the long, thin blade she impaled you with. And then the red, angry slit along the flesh of her thigh, where the blade had been nestled just a moment ago. It's still lodged in her leg, emerging from her knee, hinging up and out of her body like some extra metallic limb.
Bullshit.
Definitely detected when at first the
Absolute bullshit.
achievement popped up
You're
and
going
said
to
you
die
got the
now.
good ending. That
With a
it meant
twist of her
good as
knee
a
and
joke,
painful
right?
squelch,
But
she does just that. Everything goes dark, and you die.
the arms race.
You're on a path in the woods.
No, fuck that. If we're gonna have to keep doing this over and over and over again,
That's
we're
good.
not starting in that goddamn woods every time. We're starting in the fucking cabin.
You're what? The interior of the cabin is sharp, a constricting mess of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards... Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do? I feel dizzy.
Oh ho ho ho!
It's really good.
I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting? Who holds the cards now?
The circle's getting smaller and smaller. Running isn't an option anymore. We have to fight.
Good. It's better that way. Without a fight, no one can win, and if no one can win, then nothing has any meaning.
Great, so obviously you've already been here. How many times?
This is our third?
No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realize that every time you fail, she escapes and an entire world is damned to destruction, right?
That can't be right. That's too much responsibility. Nah, impossibly high stakes make the fight so much better.
Let's just stay focused, shall we? The only furniture of note is a bent metal table, a pristine blade perched.
We take it.
Okay, sure, you take the blade before letting me finish telling you it's there. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
This feels right. We just have to keep our senses sharp.
That's right, we've got to be able to win eventually.
We will win eventually. Hell, we might even win now.
That's a fighting spirit I like to see. You could all learn a thing or two from this one. I'd love to get started just as much as you would, but how are we supposed to get down there? You walk through the door. You do know what doors
There's a mirror.
are, right? There isn't a door, there's just that mirror. There isn't a mirror. You really messed things up, didn't you? It's like you can't even see reality anymore.
I can feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel. He might be right. Could be a trick. If our other senses can't feel it, then we can't trust
I
it.
do like all the different abstract ways
It's
to
in our way.
show
Let's
the
just
countryside
break it
and the cabin
and
itself.
move on.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You really must think you're looking at a mirror. Well, it doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open it. Let's just fumble for the handle and be done with it. I don't care what we look like. I care about getting to the end of this mess. You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. It creaks open. And the mirror's gone. How surprising.
It was never there. Just an illusion.
Let's just get to the princess already. I didn't care about the mirror before, and I care about it even less now.
Guess it's time for us to see her again. Just stay focused and you'll be fine. You step forward, but you don't get a chance to linger on the basement stairs. They are smooth and flat and metallic, an unintentional and unfortunately slippery ramp that quickly sends you skittering to the bottom.
Your body tumbles onto the basement floor and the form of the princess comes into view, standing at a distance. She gives you a wry smile.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. It looks like you don't have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb anymore. But don't worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun.
She's got another thing coming if she thinks we're going
It goes down easy again. Immediately.
Pride makes us dead. The only thing that matters is survival.
Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing bad has come of it. We just need to find a way to win once.
Nothing bad has come of it yet.
Plenty bad has come of it. You've left at least one entire world to ruin. The people there mattered.
The past isn't real. There's only here and now.
Your internal bickering is cut short by the wet sound of slicing meat. From the princess's arms erupt twin blades, glistening with her blood, the empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbows like torn sleeves.
Pretty good.
The chain clatters to the floor. She's loose, and she is coming for
Well, we're
you.
dead.
You're going to make me walk over to you, aren't you?
Shit. She's coming for us, and I'm out of ideas.
Flirt with her. She has swords for her arms and we don't. We're panicking. All of these ideas suck. Think up something better.
Yeah, that's right. We just have to think. There's probably an answer if we
Die
think.
to that right away.
Just standing there, huh? A bold strategy.
You don't have time to finish your thought. In a moment, she's across the room, blades flashing in the dim starlight. She skewers you.
Whoops.
Ow. What a surprise. Yeah, we don't even get a second to think without her stabbing
Hey, I
us.
finally got the skeptic.
Oh, a new one of us. I thought that only happens when we die. Did we die? Your Honor,
No, you're, you know.
Voice of the Cheated
where
sounds
the
like it's
fuck?
kind of commenting
Don't
on
like that we died without us
metagamers. I
knowing.
guess also the Contrarian,
This
but I only saw that the
really,
one time,
really
right?
blurs some lines that I prefer not to be blurred. Are we still dead? Are we alive again? How are we even supposed to know the difference? Stop saying dead, all of you. We might have died a second ago, but right now we're extremely not dead. This is all horribly wrong. How many times have you been here?
This is 4.
I see.
No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
That's good.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances. Okay, whatever we do gets us another us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better than her. We don't need any other voices chattering about in here. It'll just confuse us. All we need is to keep fighting. Yeah, I'll pass on
Kind
that.
of read the voices as being different player
keep moving.
archetypes, I guess, for these kinds of choose your own adventure visual
Come on,
novels.
Show me something new.
Okay, plan now.
She wins by killing us, right? So let's beat her to it. It doesn't work and she kills you again.
Then you skewer yourself.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh, that didn't do much of anything. We're tougher than I thought. Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps.
What's the point? It's all the same.
She skewers you.
Oh, don't give up on me just yet. You gotta keep going.
Do you see that? We almost had her. That was luck. But we only have to get lucky once. Compliment her on those gleaming blades. There's nothing better than a capable woman. She skewers you.
You're cute.
It doesn't matter how many times this takes, we can't give up. Okay, let's go again. Just panic. Flee. She skewers you.
Because this one's essentially just like
No.
saving you the time of doing this chapter
That's not how this
over
works.
10 times or whatever.
See? We're getting better. Okay, yeah. That was a good one. She's going to kill this body either way. So stop feeling what it feels. She skewers you.
Ooh, not bad. Real tough.
We're getting close to something, can't you feel it? One last time. You're right. One last time, that's all we need. Let's appeal to her better nature. We haven't tried that. I'm sure she'll listen to reason. She skewers you. And then everything goes dark.
And you die.
And you die.
Mutually assured destruction.
Your Honor, don't lose your head. We're in a cabin and we'll take it from you. Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it? We're up here, which is different, and different is good. And our steel claw is already in our hand. Ho-ho! What if? Throw it out the window. Over my dead body.
That won't be very hard. We've died a lot. But I can't say I mind anymore.
Besides, what better way to die so very many times than at the sharp hands of a
Well said,
beautiful
Smitten.
woman? Sure, I can think of a better way to die. They're all the same, really. How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die? I don't want us to accidentally manifest anything. The only thing we're gonna manifest is finally ending up on top. There are entirely too many of you. How many times have you been here? This isn't good. This is How about you stick to describing things, and we'll stick to doing them? Yeah, leave it to the pros. We'll notch up that win in no time.
Narrator, we heroically stride through the door and towards our destined final encounter with our star-crossed lover.
Fine by me. You walk to the door and onto the basement stairs, only
It's more of a slide, we know. Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along.
are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs, or this room, or anything? It feels like I'm hardly a part of this.
Don't care, just want to win.
Fine, you make your way to the basement, where the princess awaits you.
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again? I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see
Is it more blade arms? Is it blade legs? Is it a blade face?
I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it, though. Just you wait. And not for very long, because I'm going to do it right now.
Do do do. The best performed ellipsis of all time.
Do you want me to talk now? Well, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about the new thing. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like to hear you describe her new thing. Really? Okay then.
Here we go. Now.
The princess's skin twists, splitting into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches and tears.
Oops, all swords.
Then it erupts. She becomes a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of her splattering against the walls.
She's got a weak heart.
All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades. A heart beats furiously in its cage of a chest.
Are you ready for what comes next?
Holy shit!
Holy shit.
She's gorgeous.
Absolutely divine.
Yes, behold the perfect woman. Do you think we can throw her out the window? That looked painful. How is she still alive? Heart's still beating, that's all she needs. This is fake. This is all fake. That's all just made up. She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to stab her in it?
Stab the weak point.
This is all just a sick joke. I hate existing.
We're screwed. I quit. I'm done. Forget it.
Narrator,
Empty your mind.
What just happened? It's so quiet.
Him too.
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different. Like I should actually take this seriously for once.
Already somewhere else.
You're incredible.
It's what happens when I shut up my many mental illnesses. An opening. Master yourself and vanquish a sharp foe. This is a good ending. You are nothing at all.
I think you know what I am.
Nice. You being like a raven person or a crow person fits. You're the narrator. I was wondering if I ever get to see you.
The narrator, yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all. An
It's a
objective
great
voice to
animation.
guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
Not me, then what are you?
I'm an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
Every narrator really been different?
Of course. That is by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon.
Do you like games that are willing to
then it won't be
comment
able to
on the
work like
idea
that anymore.
of saving and reloading, right? Because it's something that's just unavoidably a part of every video game almost. A thing that you don't have in other mediums. Does it hurt when pieces of you break off like that?
It doesn't hurt. I don't feel pain. Not physically.
Will it stop if I stop asking questions?
We've already crossed the point of no return. There's no saving me now. Not that there's ever been much of me to save.
Made me, what am I?
You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
Oh God, I always knew I was special. What's the princess?
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die. for
This
she
is kinda
becomes
good. I'm
that
liking
which
this part a
others
lot,
perceive her to
actually.
be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. This isn't the end just yet. You can still destroy her and save everyone. You were made to do this single task, and you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone.
Yeah, of all things, why is she a princess? Couldn't she be an ant or a slice of soggy bread?
Are you asking me to spend my final moments psychoanalyzing you? She wound up a princess because you wanted her to be a princess. As to why, maybe she needed to be beautiful, important, above you, but on a level you could still approach. A herald of things to come.
Yeah, I'm really confused
I
on
don't know.
exploring, because it
Gods are
seems
supposed to be
exploring
beyond
is not
comprehension.
a free
Maybe
action,
should try
like
and
ever.
anthropomorphize you
Like explore
this.
is required to pick up the dagger. I've had a couple times where I thought picking explore would just give me information without advancing story, but then it frequently does. So I don't know why they even have the explore tag when it seems to be the same as taking actions. People out there beyond the walls of the construct, did they know about this?
Of course not. The only way this construct could function was if nobody knew what it was doing. But the bones of the universe are old. It's on the cusp of its dying breath, and the people out there are consumed with thoughts of oblivion. When the patterns are wiped from the sand, when the board is reset, who will remember them. All I've done is give them a chance to live outside of the shadow of the end.
Yeah, right. Here it's obviously not, because each time I select one, more shatterings happen, but maybe there's enough budget for questions that I can ask all of them. All of this is you. Cute.
I can finally see you.
Infinite princesses.
You can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
And the long quiet.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am. Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting.
Yeah.
But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes.
I feel like the... Well, I'll wait till I
So,
have a chance to
will
talk.
you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
I feel like the most interesting part of this game for me is the meta fiction stuff about like talking about choice in stories and choice in games, right? I guess I dodged a good chunk of it by not talking to her enough in the vessel scenes, but I think this game is like 4 different products at once, and I like one of them a lot. The other 3 are fine. They're not bad or anything, but... We're always going to become those. The point of me doing anything.
If you're saying that, it's because you don't yet understand. But we cannot use words alone to grasp at things that words cannot express. And you cannot rationalize with logic that which defies it. Violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
A boundless torrent of blades cut you from boundless angles. You are a body. You are gory ribbons. You are a body again. And you feel all of it.
Yeah, that's good.
On it goes until your bodies are not, your thoughts are not you.
Is this happening because of the specific route I chose at the very end?
Dead, then alive, dead, all at once. You learn to put yourself away, and in your stillness you rose above me. You died countless steely deaths, and you lived countless short lives, and yet it is all so far behind you. I pushed you to.
So is it literally just the 4th one that you, the 4th loop you do that determines this part? Appeal to your shared humanity. Won't engage with violence. Let's try rejecting her perspective.
But violence has defined the flow of everything between us. Do not deny what we are, and do not color our conflict with fear. from the dry corners of a memory. A home built on all the futures that were supposed to be. Preserved until the moment of reunion. The fire of the heart sets it all ablaze. I kill you and me. An ending is a passion that can only be expressed with a moment in time. It is a seed for a new
To linger on
beginning.
an ending.
To linger on an ending is to rob it of its life. And without me, all that's left to do is linger.
Death, suffering, and oblivion shouldn't fall on others. If we are able to transcend death, we are responsible for those who it holds captive.
Their suffering is born of their own delusion.
There are few things more terrifying than one's own heart. And there is almost nothing more terrifying than sharing it with another. But the most terrifying thing of all is to leave one's heart unshared. You are the only thing like me, and I am the only thing like you. Could you bear the weight of an eternity alone? Do you dare to shape a reality of solitude and thrust it on creation?
Suffering born in delusion is still suffering. It doesn't matter what we are now. We hurt each other. We shouldn't have done that. We cannot let a world be spun out of that pain.
The echo saw horror as his eyes closed. The majesty of being extends beyond any single perspective.
Violence you stranded me, and with violence I sought to twist your flesh back into mine. You did not resist my violence when I overcame you. Did you understand the flesh wasn't you? Or did you choose to gift yourself to someone who thought she hated you? To fear me is to fear losing the flesh. Flesh is not the spirit.
You reject the suffering of material reality, and yet you cling to its framework for meaning. We could be better than this.
I reject the narrow view of impermanence. I cling to nothing.
This is definitely my favorite part of the game right here. This is really good. I think it's saying a lot and possibly saying a lot of different things depending on which choices you make.
Rain upon a web of nerves, the shade of a beautiful beginning you can never return to. You knew me, and I knew
Because I've seen most of these.
even more than either of us know each other now, and you chose to pull apart that weave. And when the tapestry was undone, you struck at my heart. You saw me as a part of you to be excised, but in the desire for excision, you made yourself whole. Will you still be whole if you destroy me?
Claim your destruction would steal meaning from existence, but my actions can make existence worse, and there must be actions that can make it better. Perfection implies finality, and nothing is final.
There has never been finality. There is only the unending transformation of my multitudes. But to destroy me is to bring everything to a stop. It is only then that you will have an ending, and that ending is nothingness.
That ending is turning the game off.
You are unmovable. Is it by the design of our conflict that I cannot win? Or are you just that fervent in how you cling to delusion?
Big delusion
Nothing
clinger.
is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant.
There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
Everything you can to make me understand your perspective, but you keep dismissing mine. If you think you can change me, then I must be able to change you.
What I offer you is not perspective. It is truth.
Whatever you're trying to do right now, you don't have to do it alone.
Which hero are you?
All of them? I assume in the same way that you're all of you.
I have no idea how good it is to hear you.
It's good to be here. Seems like you've been doing all right on your own, but she's too many things at once out here. If you want to get through to her, you need some way to get past all that divine confidence. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume our dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready? Then let's go.
This is great.
And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that, isn't it? Do you need me to describe things?
I like that, for old time's sake.
Yeah, of course. The interior of the cabin is, well, it's a cabin, yeah? There isn't much here, just a table and a knife and a door. And some windows. There's no mirror, either. I think you broke it. And I know you're still trying to find some middle ground, but if things go south, we're going to need that blade. That's probably for the best. It's always seemed to give us more options than not. The stairs. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice?
I don't know what you want for us.
She sounded just like that. Timid and gentle. Only she didn't know us. And down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
What's that knife for? Have you changed your mind? Are you going to kill me? What if we just talk for a bit? Maybe we can figure this out.
I don't want to be a god. I want to have to slay you, but I don't know what other options there are.
Then maybe you don't have to kill me. Maybe there never even
Just
has
literally
to be
turn
an
the game
ending.
off.
I'm able to do the things you believe me to be able to do. So make me put it all back. Help me fix the Echo's construct and make us both forget. Help me send us back to the beginning, before we woke up, before either of us saw the truth.
Literally just don't play the game.
Can she really do that? Are you sure that's what you want?
Are you setting it to anything to help them, the people out there? If we're talking about this right now, how do we know we haven't done this before?
Maybe we have done all of this before. Maybe we're supposed to do this forever.
That's good.
If you can believe this helps them, then it will help them.
right?
This is almost like a more robust exploration of the, how dare you wipe your pacifist save file and do a genocide run? I know that you let those people not be happy anymore thing from Undertale, right?
Okay, if this is your choice, then we're doing it. I guess I'll see you on the other side.
Just don't play the game again and don't let anyone else ever play the
She takes
game
the
again.
blade from our hand.
And it's fine.
She raises her gentle eyes to ours, a fondness in her gaze. Yeah, it's better if we don't say anything.
Everything is going to be okay. I love you.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to
So is that actually the end then? Do I not get credits for that? I guess it's did its art on me, right? If that is an ending and it doesn't give you credits, and me saying, is that it? Do I not get credits for that? Well, yeah. Oh no, there's more? Fuck, I was hoping that was it. Where it's like, no, you are choosing to not be given credits, right? That is your choice at the end. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I like that. I like that last part. This game was good. I think I probably wasn't able to vibe with it as hard as I could have. Maybe if I wasn't streaming it, it's maybe... I think getting the quote-unquote good ending first put me in a weird position because I wasn't sure like what I was actually supposed to go for. I was like constantly trying to question like, what is the structure of this game? And I think there's kind of a flaw with the visual novel, the like choose your own adventure, multiple endings visual novel. Maybe it's not a flaw for everybody. Maybe it's a flaw for a player with my, brain chemistry and player type. Because for me, what I enjoy about games is not knowing how they're structured for as long as possible and then uncovering their structure as slowly as possible. Like, I don't like to know what the formula is too early, and I like to have the formula disrupted as much as possible. But I think the problem with the visual, this format of game is that the formula, the routing, the path, whatever, like I can see the matrix, I can see the frame when you guys are like, okay, well, you have to do this and this and this to stay on this route. You have to do that and that and that to stay on that route. Like, that's always, in every game I've played that's like this, so disconnected from, what you think the consequences of your choices ought to be, right? It's not like a choice-based game, like a BioWare game or probably more well executed, a game like Disco Elysium, where you make choices and they never change the ending because the ending is pretty much predetermined, or the ending is only slightly different based on choices. But what it does change is like your interactions with individuals. Here it's like you are trying to get some specific outcome, but when you're playing the game blind for the first time, you have to already know how the game is structured to know what is pushing you towards different outcomes, to know that routes exist, to know that taking an action is abandoning a route, right? Like in 999, not to spoil that game, but in 999, the game boils down to essentially 4, or maybe it's only 3 choices. And doing those 3 choices in an arbitrary order, right? There's no like thinking to be done about it. It's just that one of them happens to result in the true ending and the others don't. Now that you finished the full story for the first time, you've also unlocked the gallery. Okay, that's cool. I can't quite articulate it because I think that there is something substantially deeper in here than I was able to fully vibe with. I was starting to like get what it was saying in my bones. I couldn't like write a video essay on it at the end to really articulate it smartly. It's a gallery which shows a princess. I'll take a look at it here in a second. But when I was saying that I think this game is 4 things at once, I guess the 4 things that it is it is a shocking image horror game, right? Like the princess taking these different spooky forms is meant to kind of spook you out. That's the kind of thing that doesn't do anything for me, but I don't get really excited to see like, oh my god, she's a scary ghost. And now she's a fire lady. Oh my god, she's made out of swords now. It's like, okay, that's cool. I know that people are into that in some horror genres. It has a cosmic horror aspect, which I do like a lot. The cosmic horror I wasn't really able to interface with too much until the very end. I guess I picked up that they were hinting at it with the narrator and with the earlier scenes with the vessel. It has an existential horror bit, which I like a lot. That's like one of my favorite kinds of things. You know, give me a story that's just existential horror and none of the other kinds of horror in it, and I will, you know, drink deep of that well. And then it has the metafiction aspect, which I think was my favorite part. But I think that I only like scratched the surface of the metafiction aspect. I feel like the game was trying to say something about video games and about stories in general that I was like wanting to get to, and I felt like the structure of the game was making it harder for me to get to that point, because I'm like, okay, so like what buttons do I actually have to press to get through these, you know, scary monster horror scenes, which aren't doing as much for me. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not doing a great job of articulating my complex thoughts on this game. I think it's really interesting though. I think it's very much, like I said, a post deconstructionist game. That was my intuition for it in the first 5 minutes, and that definitely seems to be true. It is kind of like an anti-Stanley Parable in a lot of ways, where Stanley Parable is all about the courage to disobey, or whatever the fuck, you know, 50 games came out in the space of 5 years. It all kind of had that same idea at the same time. And this is almost exploring something different, where it's like, no, like you as the player are the master of what's actually happening with the story. Like, yes, we wrote a story for you, but you're the one holding the controller. You're the one that's inputting the decisions. You're the one who gets to imagine what happens when you turn the game off, right? Like, you have more creative agency over this than I, the creator or creators, have over it. Yeah, they lean into the no wrong choices, let you go whatever your choice is instead. I did play the original source mod Stanley Parable. I did that on stream, so there's a video for that on my games database. I played the non-original version off stream years and years ago, and I haven't played the new remake that they made, so I'd be interested to check that out too. But yeah, I guess I think that the Choose Your Own Adventure visual novel structure has basically been unchanged since Choose Your Own Adventure books, right? I remember reading Choose Your Own Adventure books when you were a kid, and it would say, you know, if you do this, go to this page. If you do that, go to that page. And you only have to read a couple of those before you realize that, like, it's kind of arbitrary. It's just like, okay, some combination of pages will get you to a good ending, and some combinations of pages will get you to a bad ending. And it's not actually connected to whether you made a good choice or a rational choice or an emotionally accurate choice. It's just that's just the way they wrote it. They needed to collapse certain routes so that they ended in the same place. And I feel like most of the choice-based VNs I've played kind of end up in the same area. Now, this one obviously has a lot of permutations, but even the idea that there is kind of like an intended flow, and that intended flow that I went through today, even if there's like 30 different versions of that intended flow, is a more correct way of playing the game, right, than the quote-unquote good ending I got at the beginning, or the route abandoning ending I got right after that, right? I can't not see that structure, and I can't... it makes it more... It adds friction to me engaging with it earnestly, right? I guess the other thing to note is that in a game like this, like if it's wanting to offer different kinds of media to different people, you know, if it wants to be spooky monster horror for one person who wants spooky monster horror, and cosmic horror for someone who wants Lovecraft and Eldritch shit, and existential horror for somebody else, and metafiction horror for somebody else, I kind of wish I had the ability to direct that it would respond to the kinds of choices I'm making and realize what kind of game I want it to be. Because I think a theme of this game is that you as the player are deciding what the story is, more so than we as the creators are. But I think that like design fantasy is maybe too difficult to accomplish. You have to like know too much about the player psychological profile. You probably can't divine that from having them pick, yes, take the dagger, no, don't take the dagger, yes, attack, no, hesitate. But I feel like the whole game is like a robust like decision tree out of those 4 basic decisions, right? I always think about the Choose Your Own Adventure book where the good ending has no choices that lead to it. You have to flip through the book to find it. I think that's really cool. I like that a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I think the critique I'm presenting is one that I think the game is possibly itself aware of and possibly itself commenting on in its own structure. And maybe like the Choose Your Own Adventure book you're talking about, where there's just a page that has the ending and you just have to find it without actually following a path. You know, maybe it's buried in one of the other routes I didn't take. And so I feel this kind of like discontent, disquiet about not being permitted to find the part of the game that I wanted to get to, and feeling like if I wanted to do that, I would have to like watch YouTube videos or play the game for dozens of hours to try every single route to get to the content that I want out of it, to get to the analysis I want out of it. But I feel like, in a sense, that discontent I'm feeling is the art of Slay the Princess. Like, it has succeeded in doing its art on me, right? So that's probably the longest I've ranted after the credits are done. I still don't think I've, communicated the vibe in my heart, but I like the game a lot. It made me feel frustrated in a way that I think it probably was trying to make me feel frustrated. And I think that's a good thing. I think art should make you feel things other than happiness and everything is resolved and everything is clear at the end, Let's see, this gallery. Where do I see it? I see there's reset gallery memories. Okay. So these are all the different... Oh, that's nice. Yeah, because they put a lot of work into doing all of those. And the vessels are all the different spooky monster forms that she can take. And they give you hints on how to find them, I suppose. Okay. That's pretty cool. Don't need the world for your happy ending. Yeah, good game. Thanks for putting it on Subblock. I had a good time with it. I'd be interested in playing more from this dev. I never finished Scarlet Hollow. We played it for one Subblock session that was really good. So if anyone wants to pick that game back up, especially if it's done. I know when we played it last time, there were still releases that hadn't been put out. I'm more excited to check it out after really appreciating this game.